Obviously, so many people, including yourselves, wanted to see Alice have the opportunity to go on, and it was just, I know, so rough with Layne's addiction, and just hoping that he would, get better and find help. And that's always a really difficult thing, because when you love somebody, it's not, you can't necessarily force anybody to make certain changes in their lives, but it doesn't make it any easier when you go through the loss of someone. And for you guys, I mean, how did you deal with your grieving at that point? I mean, when you found out that we had lost Layne, what was that like for the three of you guys?
I started smoking. I never smoked for like 35 years, and I started smoking that day, man. I was like,
yeah. My record actually came out. Was coming out that week, and we got the news. And I mean, the thing is like, when you're inside that's sort of a wild ride, which we were on, and it's, everything is going by so fast, and you pick up some bad habits sometimes to deal with things, myself included, and that's down the road with enough use ends up killing you, or sapping the soul out of you, and unfortunately we lost him, and it's something that was, for me, it was crushing. It was crushing, not only to stop right at the peak of the band, pretty much. I mean, we were ready to maybe hit another echelon there, I think, artistically, but personally, it was we lost our best buddy and our best friend, so that's a lot to go through, and it's an experience that everybody goes through in life. It's not unique to us, and so I guess how you decide to pick up and move on and live your life after that is as important, if not more important, than what you did before. So
I realize it's fairly obvious that Google no longer works as a search engine, but this is ridiculous. I searched Jerry Cantrell, selfish sellout. I wanted to understand the arguments against Jerry Cantrell continuing with Alice in Chains. It wasn't just Layne Staley. The bass guy died too from drug overdose. So anyway, I'm searching Jerry Cantrell, selfish sellout. It stops after 2 pages. Goes, in order to show you the most relevant results, we have omitted some entries. So I get 2 pages of results, and not much of them are that good. I saw that Cantrell is complaining, calling people trolls who don't respect Alice in Chains continuing. Jerry Cantrell and David Gilmour basically make money off of dead people. Alice in Chains cannot exist without Layne Staley. It's just not how life works. The Beatles could not continue without Lennon. Maybe you could have replaced Ringo, the drummer. All respect to Ringo. No disrespect intended. David Gilmour wasn't even in Pink Floyd. So how is Pink Floyd David Gilmour? Jerry Cantrell, net worth. Let's take a peek. He's hurting for money? Now, I don't know how accurate this net worth crap is. This says right here that he's worth about $35 million. Another one says he's worth $45 million. $30 million. I don't know where they're coming up with these numbers. Jerry Cantrell, Mr. Not a Bad Musician. Decent voice, nothing too special for voice. Nothing too special for the songs. Your Decision. That was probably their biggest song with the comeback as a band. That's from 2009. It's just not that good a song. It's nothing special. It's almost as if he's saying, hey, that was their decision. It's not my decision. How is it my fault that half the band died from drugs and I'm still alive? Why is it my fault? Why should I lose the title of Alice in Chains? Well, the band's dead. If the guys died, it's over. This guy's going for money grab. He apparently doesn't need the money, yet here he is, just friggin' shoving crap. And he's not the only one. I see plenty of just pure money grabs. You look at the video for Your Decision, it's nothing but decadent crap. More of the same from loser Hollywood. So Jerry Cantrell, go F yourself. Ooh, Let's all give Jerry Cantrell a round of applause for not having died from drugs. He thinks that makes him some type of special person that enables him to justify using a dead man's popularity to keep some fake band. Alice in Chains is dead. It died with Layne Staley dying. That was it. It was over. Pink Floyd died when Roger Waters stopped it. I'm not going to say they died with losing Syd Barrett. They actually did die. The original Pink Floyd died with the death of Syd Barrett. So for them to carry on, maybe that's why Roger Waters ended up quitting, saying, look, Syd died. We did what we could after his death, but come on, this is stupid. Or I'm not exactly sure why Roger Waters left the band. But I do respect what he's saying about David Gilmour acting as if he's Pink Floyd when he wasn't even in Pink Floyd to begin with. So F David Gilmour, F all these rich bastards, F Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney is a turd. If you look at Paul McCartney's face, it's tweaking out from all the drugs he used. Paul McCartney is a shallow frickin' loser. He couldn't come up with really good songs in over 30 years. He hasn't come up with squat. He's sold out. He's doing silly love songs. Whoop-de-doo. Jeff Lynne, ELO. Nice sellout you did there, Jeffy Poo. All of you buggers are just full of yourselves. I get no respect for any of these people. I'm in the camp with Charles Bukowski, who called out all the losers, all the posers, who can't write, they can't sing, they can't entertain, they can't think for themselves, they can't do squat without some type of shtick, some type of commercialized platform. Everything's fake, everything's rigged. Subscribers are bought, page views are bought, comments are all fake, search engines are fake. F you, Jerry Cantrell. You trash. I see right through you. No one would have ever heard of Alice in Chains without Layne Staley. It's the next day. I can't help but think that Jerry Cantrell is so full of it. He should have just not brought back Alice in Chains. He should have let it be. He's trying to justify that he survived while Layne and Mike Starr did not. So as an Aspie, I get a little fixated on stuff. I get fixated on Layne Staley's demise. It's now been a few days of this. Jerry Cantrell has the charisma of sawdust. If Layne Staley had not been the singer of Alice in Chains, most of us probably would have never heard of Jerry Cantrell. I don't care how talented he is. I'm not saying he isn't one of the greats, that he isn't great, but that was a niche, what their music was. And without perhaps the greatest singer ever in Layne Staley, maybe Cornell was the greatest singer, I don't know, the greatest voice. Or maybe there's a level of voice in which they're all the same greatness. So let's not pick and choose who's the greatest of all time, or else we sound like idiots. Cantrell is the proverbial undiagnosed Aspie. One of the big elephants in the American room, in the world room, is that there are millions of people with undiagnosed Asperger's. All those musicians have Asperger's. Just look at their faces. Look at their small mouths, look at their nervousness, look at their creativity. Cantrell has Asperger's. I downloaded a little clip here. This is Jerry Cantrell trying to justify that Layne Staley is dead and he isn't, and that he continued to use Layne Staley's memory to sell music. You look into this stuff, one can see that Jerry Cantrell pushed the drug addicts out. Jerry Cantrell wants to portray himself as he was the mature one, he was the strong-willed one, he was the true greatness. But he knows deep down that he can't say that Layne Staley didn't have a great impact, that he wasn't a big player in it. But by continuing the band when it's pretty much done, as soon if Cantrell had died, then Layne Staley would have had to delete Alice in Chains. I mean, end the group, disband them. maybe not disband them, but at least change the frickin' name. Show some integrity. Don't be a vampire. Don't be sucking on the bone marrow of dead people like David Gilmour did. David Gilmour and Jerry Cantrell are basically the same schmuck who became famous after taking from someone else. David Gilmour, no one would have ever heard of him without Syd Barrett. No one would have heard of Jerry Cantrell without Layne Staley. Sorry, guys, but you're overrated and you're creepy. That's the worst part about these guys. They're good musicians, maybe even great musicians, talking Cantrell and David Gilmour, but in regards to life, the overall picture, they failed. They are narcissists. They are 100% narcissists who are confusing luck for skill. And it's really shocking when part of their luck had to be the true greatness dying off so they could fill in the gap. So Jerry Cantrell, you go F yourself with your 2009 hit, Your Decision. It's fucking drier than sawdust, which I already mentioned. And the song sucked. So go F yourself. Go F yourself with your 30, 40 million, according to the net worth websites. Which, again, I'm not sure if those are legit. I think I mentioned those yesterday. So yes, I'll stop it right here, edit this up, come up with the clickbait title, and then it'll just be further proof that I'm shadow banned, because my videos get nothing for page views. Despite that, I sound pretty good. Despite that, I put effort into this crap. Despite that, I'm well educated and all this other stuff. It's because the internet's rigged, just as music was rigged, just as Hollywood was rigged. Everything is rigged. Most people, unfortunately, are incompetent, stupid conformists. And that will include Jerry Cantrell. Guy's aging like a loser. What a loser Jerry Cantrell is, to be blunt. I don't care how rich he is. The guy's still in denial over his responsibility for dead band members. I'm not saying Cantrell killed those guys, but he did not help them. David Gilmour did not help Syd Barrett. He took over Syd Barrett. He took over his life. That's what David Gilmour became. He became the guy who stole Syd Barrett's soul. Jerry Cantrell is the guy who stole Layne Staley's soul. Layne felt guilty over his fiancée dying, and he just gave up, and that sucks, and it sucked. Jerry Cantrell kept going. Doesn't matter how rich Jerry Cantrell is. He's so tied to the hip of wanting to be thought of as greatness, as this or that. It's like, go F yourself, Jerry Cantrell. Half the band died. Maybe get rid of the name. Maybe that would honor Mike Starr and Layne Staley if you come up with a new name and let A.I.C and Chains rest in peace. A.I.C and Chains is a negative group. Sure, it sounds great. It was great. But it was all about drug use and negativity. So F you, Jerry Cantrell. You're as shallow and fake as a Paul McCartney. You disgust me, Jerry Cantrell.